Never been there myself. Colonel Bluegrass, right? Young for a colonel.
Oh, shucks. Just naturally talented, Commander.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Super 7 Silverhawks Bluegrass figure. This figure is a very nice looking figure, packs a whole lot in the package. I want to show everything that's going on with it, but he does have a couple of minor QC issues that are kind of getting on my nerves, but doesn't really take away the whole joy of getting this figure. He is pretty cool overall. Then we're going to show him compared to vintage Kenner figures, show him compared to the rest of the lineup team, show the display, and show a little bit less footage because Warner Brothers came after me, so manually came after me, by the way. Anyway, let's talk about this Bluegrass coming up. Okay, so here is the packaging, and super ultra shiny, kind of like we saw with Steel Will, and there is everything's set up in here the way I would think it would be. All the good stuff's in the front. You see the guitar and the other guitars in the back, and quite a few accessories with this guy. Yeah. Looks good. I like the way it's set up. The back, here is the bio on it if you want to stop and read all that, and good stuff right there. And of course the brown box. Pretty cool. Funny thing is, I thought I lost the brown box to one of my other figures, and so I was kind of flipping out about it, looking around for it forever. I finally found it though, but anyway. And that's how everything's placed inside. Once you kind of take it out, I'm not really going to sit here and do an unboxing, but kind of show how it looks. Remind myself how it all supposed to go back in there. Alright, so here he is right out of the package. We're going to be looking at all this ton of accessories, including, he's got a ton of hand options here that I don't even, we'll take them out when it's time. But before we get into all that, I have an issue with them, so I just messed around with them a bit, and I find that this side's sort of okay. That, I don't like that. That's really loose. Now I can tighten it up. I can do things, but I don't like that at all. That went that loose. Now I kind of think it's because he's a much thinner figure than the Steel Will, and probably thinner than other ones. That's much smaller joints and posts or whatever. But I don't know. That was a surprise to me. All I did was bend the elbow, and that started happening. So very disappointed in that. Other than that, he looks fantastic though. That's definitely him, and he looks awesome, and I like the color of him because it sort of matches, but I'll throw a still up later on once we kind of have all the stuff on him and all of that. But he does have a little bit of paint here, so he's kind of monochrome all over except for the paint that's on the legs there and all of that. And he does have this included, it's already on him, this little handkerchief piece, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, he looks pretty good. Okay, so getting into looking at the head sculpts, we have the standard head, and then we have these here. So here we go with a smiling, winking head, and then the standard head. Now, I don't know. I'm kind of afraid to try to pop his head off because I might break it. Oh, it worked. So that worked. So we'll pop this one on. And I'll probably leave this one on. If I can get it on. Is that on? Yeah, well, it didn't have a popping sound or anything, so it's on. It's on. Okay, now that we've got his head on, here's his hat. It's got like a slot in there to match his kind of mohawk-looking spike thing he's got going on. And boom, we can put that on there. So we've got that, and that's how it's supposed to be. I think that we can kind of adjust it the way they have it. You can adjust it up or down. All around, it'll hold okay. So that's pretty cool. By the way, if I have paint on my hands and stuff from doing my custom figure, then I guess I'll have paint on my hands. I guess. All right, so that's gonna be the head that I'm gonna pick for this guy. Let's see what our next accessory is gonna be, and we're gonna go straight into the guitars. Now, this guitar here is the Hot Link. It's either Hot Link or that one's this one's the side man because it looks like the bird. And this one is the Hot Link. So we'll get this, and so each one of these you're supposed to put the strap on, I guess. You got to put your strap on and plug it in. I have a little bit of a problem there. These are just some standard straps, I would guess. I don't know if they had to make them specifically for this, or if they were able to select some material that's already existing. And then put this one over here. So that's kind of interesting. I'll just do the other one off camera though. It seems like a waste of time doing it on camera, but get this strap over that. I feel like I'm messing with the Coleco Rambo stuff because they have a lot of these kind of straps like this. And it looks like exactly like a Coleco Rambo one, except a different color. All right, there it's on. We're going to go ahead and put it on him and see how he looks with it. So what can we do? We can kind of have him look like he's holding it there and have him look like he's holding it up here and all that good stuff, sort of. So there's that. Looks good. That's probably the one I'm going to display him with. Now, from there, you can plug this in, I believe, right here. So there's a hole. You can plug this in, and you have one of the blast effects. And again, I'm plugging it in for the first time, so... Alright, so here it is with the blast effect, and as we get to different hands and stuff, it is going to actually look a little bit better the way he holds it, because you could put some grasping hands and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to kind of decide what hands I want to use for the final, but there it is. And then of course we can pop that off, which I will not be displaying that, so, and we can pop this one on. So this one is going to go on in a slightly different fashion, and you want the notes to be up and down like they're supposed to, and then plug that in. That plugs in nice, but it's a little heavier, so you know, obviously he's going to need to have that correct grasping hand. Now, that is cool, and that's how I'm going to display mine. I think this is a really nice nice looking addition to it. It's transparent, but it's got colors on the inside of it, which is really cool. It's got notes, musical notes, and they're dancing across the screen. Makes me think that like maybe we'll get a Melodia down the road. If we do get a Melodia, that would be awesome, because we've never had her before, and like any character we've never had before. Now this thing probably doesn't want to stay on. I mean, I got it staying for a bit, but I'll have to mess with this more. But anyway, looks good on the back. All right, so now we're getting into him looking really good. This looks fantastic like this. I love the way he looks, and even with the loose elbow joint, you can get some great poses out of him. He can still do quite a bit. Now, obviously, if I was trying to pose the bird on the other side, then this wouldn't work. But, yeah, that's an issue. Now, if you look at this, this is his sideman guitar, which also you get a perching sideman, which is great. And you're going to see when we do the vintage reviews, the vintage comparisons, that this is the same guitar as the vintage. Of course, matches the cartoon, not the toy. And then, as you can see, the one that's flying in flight mode here also matches that guitar. So it's a nice match all the way around. You get 3 sidemans, which is awesome, in addition to this guy right here. So really, really cool. One thing I didn't really show, but they painted the sideman face on the edge of the guitar, which is so cool. So now obviously you wouldn't display him with sideman and this one at the same time. So I actually think I might display him like this. Yeah, if I got the space. It looks cool. It looks really cool. I might just leave that accessory off, but it is a pretty cool accessory. Hard to keep it on though. Okay, so let's get into some of the hand options here, and we have this one, which is like a picking hand where he can pick, but I also think he could probably hold a lasso with it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and swap that one. So let's see how this works. Let's give it a nice little twist as we're popping it off so we can be safe with it, and then pop this one on. And first thing I want to do is try to test him holding a lasso with it, and something along the lines like this. And yeah, it sort of holds the lasso. Obviously, you'd want one of the other ones. This lasso actually does kind of spin too. So it would be something that he could hold also sort of like this. And I think you could put that around his hand too. And I swap this out to more of a guitar gripping hand. And this hand here, and he's got his lasso, and he can do some stuff. So you can kind of see him holding his lasso. Now this lasso is what he uses to pull the Silverhawks that are supposed to be able to fly, pull them back into the ship, into the Mirage. So interesting. I don't think I'm going to use these lassos at all whatsoever, not even at all. But it's cool that they included it. It's something that was in the show. Showcasing the rest of the hands, we have just a standard left gripping hand, a thumbs up hand with a bit of a grip to it, sort of, and then just a solid fist for the blue side and the left hand. And his right hand, it is a little bit opened, sort of. That's flecking from his, that's fleck. That's his paint chipped off of him. This is an open salute hand. This is a holding hand. This is another kind of guitar pick hand. This is a thumbs up, and I don't know if I probably went off camera because I got it zoomed in so much, and a fist. All right, so I'm not going to do articulation because it's almost exactly the same as still wheel and pretty much all of them. So go watch the still wheel one. I am a little concerned about his joints and how small he is, and either breaking them or just wearing them out to where they're too loose. Now, that's not a good thing. That is very bad, but I'm just moving on. So this is a side-by-side picture of him and the cartoon still that I really, when I think of the character, I think of this cartoon still, and I'll probably throw a second one up too through this, but his colors match. He is a little shiny, like shiny plastic. I don't see silver in him, but then again, he looks like the cartoon because he's got the color, and the spots that shine and gleam on the still that I'm showing are very similar to the spots that shine and gleam on this plastic. So it works for me. I'll live with it. I'm fine with it. But yeah, he looks good. Okay, so our first comparison is going to be with the original finished toy, and looking at the finished toy side by side, you're going to notice this is the standard Bluegrass, this is the ultrasonic Bluegrass, and this is just a standard version 1.0 hat. I'm going to say that if, first of all, people saying that this is $55, it's worth the $55 with all the inclusions, everything they give you. I mean, it is worth the $55, especially since there'll probably never be another Bluegrass made in my lifetime past this, but we'll see. That's one thing. The other thing is, if you're collecting vintage, then you're like, well, $55, that's barely even this guy's hat. Like, trying to track that hat down for, less than $50, good luck. So it was really hard. Trust me, it's really hard. 3 years of looking, I very seldom see it. They're usually $40 to $60 just for the hat. So to get all the stuff that you included, I'm like, wow, $55 is actually a pretty good value for this guy. So you do have both of the guitars. So you have this guitar that matches that, and then this other guitar here that sort of matches this one. Sort of. Here he is next to Ramen Toys Quicksilver and the Super 7 Steel Wheel, which, of course, the two of them, they look pretty good together. They all look good together, but I feel like this one here is less stable, because I can pick this guy up and he's solid. He's solid as rock. This one here, just, I don't know, smaller feet, smaller everything. And, of course, Ramen Toy is stout. That thing's awesome. Look forward to the rest of these, too, when they come out. But excited to have Toon and Toy / Real World. Pretty exciting. They do mix together very well because he has a different color. And the sheen, the shine, it all works. It all works together. You'll see the display at the end. And this is Ramen Toys Monstar, and then the Super 7 Windhammer. I thought I lost Windhammer's box. I was freaking out, but I found him. And then let's see what he looks like next to the KO Monstar. I think this is how big Super 7's Monstar is going to be, but I'm not sure. I think so. I'm pretty sure that this is about how big it's going to be. So, looking at the size difference, all that kind of stuff. Here he's next to a Super 7 Thundercats figure, and this is the Masterverse Mattel Man-at-Arms. Alright, here's the display, and this is kind of how it looks. I have a custom Copper Kid back here I'm including in the display, and I probably will move one of the Quicksilvers once I get a different Silverhawk figure in here, but shaping up quite nicely with Ramen Toy and a mix of Super 7, Ramen, all that kind of stuff. I do have the other Monstar coming in, the throne, and all that, so it's going to all get redone. Yeah, the custom Copper Kid's not that great. I saw someone do it online, it looked really good. But anyway, this is where we're at now. This was a Ramen Toy only shelf pretty much a week ago, and now it's kind of mixed with Super 7. Alright, so that's my look at the Bluegrass from Super 7 for the Ultimate Silverhawks, and I've got to say that overall, I think he's a great looking figure, and he fits the aesthetic of the cartoon and all that kind of stuff. He's going to look good on a shelf. He's going to display very well. He does have a few issues. First of all, the elbow being super loose when you move it side to side. I was disappointed in that. The flaking of the paint that came off, but I'm not so worried about the flaking of the paint because I don't see anywhere on it that it came off. I mean, still, after the review, I know where the flaking's coming from. It's coming from the inside of the elbow joint, and I don't even think that's what's making it loose. But That was really the only QC issues. I do feel like because of his design and he's small, he's a little less stable than, say, Still Will. And he's still stable enough to stand. You see he's standing just fine, but that's just one of my concerns with him. Overall, I think he's a good figure. I think he's an excellent value with all they packed in, like a massive amount of stuff that they packed into it. And would I rather have it for $30? Yes. For $55 and all of these accessories that I'm not going to use all of them at once, probably never use them again. I don't know. So with that, Bluegrass for Silverhawks, I like him, and I look forward to the next one, Monstar, and of course, all the rest of the Silverhawks that are coming. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you getting this? Are you interested in this? Are you not interested in this? Like and subscribe. Teddy Hanger out.
Want to leave that toy behind, Colonel Bluegrass?
You ever seen a toy like this?
What was that, Sheriff?
E flat, lady. E flat major.